faithfully delivering value, exploring great books from around the world. Hi, this is Sally, your book narrator. Today, I'll discuss the book The Making of Idiots with the subtitle How Electronic Devices Threaten the Next Generation. Do you let your kids use electronic devices? Do you set limits on your children's screen time? Feel free to comment and share your experiences. In modern society, electronic devices are everywhere, from TVs and computers to phones, tablets, and game consoles. People, including kids, spend hours on them daily. Studies show that in Western countries, kids under 2 average 50 minutes a day on screens, 2 to 8-year-olds get 2 hours 45 minutes, and 8 to 12-year-olds spend 4 hours 45 minutes. Meanwhile, teens from 13 to 18 clock in over 7 hours 15 minutes daily. Many aren't worried. They think devices boost kids' learning interest, creativity, and make their brains quicker.
But author Michel Demerger argues these ideas are wishful thinking, lacking any scientific backing.
Numerous studies prove devices cause significant harm to kids, damaging their physical and mental health in many ways. Demerger holds a PhD in neuroscience and is research director at France's National Institute of Health and Medical Research. He acknowledges devices have benefits, making life more convenient. But for growing children, devices definitely do more harm than good.
For kids, devices are mostly used for videos, games, and social media, eating into valuable learning time and causing long-term harm.
Media often sugarcoats devices, lacking honesty and balance. He wrote this book to provide solid data and research, revealing devices' true effects on minors. The book has 3 chapters and 230,000 words. Demerger compiles research from the US, France, UK, etc., examining harm to academics, cognition, development, and health, plus tips to reduce risks. Next, I'll break down the book's key points into 4 parts. First, what are the harms of electronic devices on academic performance? Second, what are the harms of electronic devices on cognitive development? Third, what are the harms of electronic devices on health? Fourth, how can we reduce the harms of electronic devices? Let's start with the first part. What are the harms of electronic devices on academic performance? Scientific research consistently shows that the more kids use electronic devices at home, the worse their academic performance becomes. Take TV watching, for example. A study on elementary students found that heavy TV viewers scored lower in math, writing, and reading comprehension than light viewers. Another long-term study found each extra daily hour of TV between ages 5 to 15 doubled unemployment risk between 18 to 32. Increased phone use shows similar effects. One study tracked phone usage among 100 college students. Researchers found each extra hour of home phone use dropped the students' academic ranking by 4 positions.
If used during class, the results are even worse.
Each extra hour of phone use there drops rankings by 8 positions. Computers and game consoles show similar patterns. More usage equals poorer performance.
The author argues electronics' most direct impact is on homework, as they're highly tempting for students.
To free up entertainment time, students cut homework hours, and even while working, middle schoolers struggle to focus. They just rush through to watch TV or play games. When homework isn't completed thoroughly, grades inevitably suffer. Some parents might say, "My kid uses devices but still gets good grades." The author counters that isolated cases aren't representative. Device-related academic harm is widespread, and good grades don't prove absence of damage. For instance, a top 20 student might become top 10 without devices. We've mainly covered home use harms so far. Now let's examine classroom device harms. Many college students bring laptops or tablets to access materials, take notes, or research. Many believe this boosts classroom efficiency, but the reality is, college students mainly use these electronic devices for entertainment, not for studying. 1. A French university found that students on campus most frequently visit social media sites like Facebook and YouTube, with few accessing the school's learning resources. A study from Furman University in the US showed that in a 75-minute class, students spent 42% of time on entertainment with computers, and longer classes saw even higher rates. These students often get distracted, can't follow lectures, and have poor retention, naturally leading to bad grades. Some might argue these students' poor grades stem from entertainment addiction. If they used devices seriously for studying, their grades would improve. Take online courses. Tech enthusiasts claim they give global access to top-tier content through engaging videos that boost motivation. They're also cheap. One course can reach countless people. So, people assume affordable quality courses will replace in-person teaching, but that's an illusion. Online courses perform poorly. UPenn's microeconomics course had 35,800 signups, but only 886 took finals, and just 740 passed, barely over 2%. In 2013, San Jose State University ended its online platform partnership, pulling courses off the web. They discovered extreme failure rates, 49% to 71% depending on the course, far surpassing in-person classes. Many scholars stress learning requires teacher-student interaction. Tailored guidance is essential since mastery varies. Plus, teachers' emotional support is key to igniting learning passion. When students struggle, teachers must motivate them. When they succeed, teachers should praise them. Ultimately, teachers' mentorship plays a crucial role in learning. This is something online courses can never replace. Therefore, online courses only suit well-educated students with solid foundations. And for self-disciplined learners, for most average students, truly mastering a subject requires in-person teachers. All right, to summarize part one, whether at home or in class, students mainly use electronics for entertainment. This prevents focus during lectures, compromises homework quality, and ultimately lowers grades. Even educational online courses lack teacher-student interaction, failing to help students truly grasp knowledge. That covers academic performance. Now for part two, how electronics harm cognitive development. In early childhood, the brain undergoes rapid neuron development during a critical sensitive period for cognition. Proper stimulation then boosts cognitive abilities, while neglect impairs them. For example, congenitally deaf children who get cochlear implants before age 3 or 4 adapt quickly. Their sound discrimination abilities become excellent.
But if implanted after age 8, sound discrimination weakens significantly.
Language acquisition follows the same pattern. Scientists find kids who immigrate before 7 master foreign languages faster and better. Post-7 immigration makes language learning much harder.
Current research indicates ages 0 to 6 are this sensitive period. Children should experience diverse stimuli. Excessive screen time causes long-term harm by missing this critical window.
The author details 3 cognitive harms from electronics. First, social interaction. Among all neural stimuli, social interaction is the most crucial. Our brains contain mirror neurons. When we see someone perform an action, these neurons activate similarly, letting us share their experience. Through social interactions, children use mirror neurons to mimic behaviors, developing fundamental skills like walking, talking, and tool use, while understanding others' thoughts and emotions. Many scientific experiments found mirror neurons only activate during real human interaction. In other words, children struggle to learn through videos. In one experiment, researchers showed sequences of actions to 12 to 18-month-olds. Some kids watched live demonstrations. Others watched video demonstrations. The researcher held a doll wearing gloves with a bell inside. They manipulated the doll, removed the glove, shook the bell, then re-gloved it. After replicating the actions, live-demo kids remembered more steps with higher accuracy than video-watchers. Another experiment had 3 to 6-year-olds watch educational skits, some via video, others watched live performances. Then researchers questioned them about the skits. Unsurprisingly, live performance kids showed far better memory and comprehension. Thus, under sixes using electronics miss crucial interaction time, impairing imitation learning during neural sensitive periods. This cognitive lag leads to our second harm, language skills. Numerous studies confirm electronics damage language development. One study shows 15 to 48-month-olds watching greater than 2 hours TV daily triple language delay risks.
Babies watching TV before age 1, regardless of duration, face five-fold higher risks.
Another study found 8 to 11-year-olds using devices greater than 2 hours daily shows significant language and focus impairment. Electronic harm to language stems from two primary factors. First, as mentioned, language learning requires mirror neurons activated through real conversation. Even vocabulary teaching videos perform poorly compared to parental teaching, like showing a 1-year-old an actual apple. In educational videos, someone points at an apple and repeats apple. As mentioned, children have low sensitivity to videos. 1-year-olds have no concept of learning. While watching, their attention may drift to surroundings or the person on screen, completely ignoring the content, the apple in the video. Conversely, when parents present an actual apple, the child's attention automatically focuses, making word learning more efficient through interaction. When the child says apple, the parent hands it to them. If mispronounced, parents correct immediately. These interactions deeply reinforce word-object connections, something videos can't achieve. Plus, many words aren't concrete like apple, but abstract, like shake or scared. These relate to actions and emotions. Videos alone can't build these word concept links. One study found under threes can't learn verbs from videos. Over threes grasp meanings but struggle using verbs practically. But through parent interaction, they master and use verbs effectively. Beyond vocabulary, grammar is crucial for language. It's more complex. Parents constantly correct errors and model proper grammar, only possible through extensive real conversation. More device use means less talking. One study found, without TV, under fours speak approximately 22 minutes daily. Each extra TV hour reduces speech by 5 minutes, a 25% drop. For language development, this lost time is invaluable. The second language harm, reduced reading. Children's language grows not just from conversation but reading. Conversation builds foundations. Reading develops richer language abilities. Compared to videos or conversation, reading offers far more complex vocabulary and sentence structures.
A study shows children's books use more complex vocabulary than adult conversations or TV shows. Words like equation, legalization, xenophobia.
Though seemingly simple, these words rarely appear in speech. People mainly encounter them through reading. Research finds primary students reading 10 minutes daily encounter 600,000 more words yearly than non-readers, significantly boosting vocabulary and comprehension. Device addiction reduces reading time, stunting language development. Some experts claim the internet can replace books, suggesting online articles and stories offer equal benefits. But two recent studies show online reading provides near zero vocabulary or comprehension gains, sometimes even negative, far inferior to print. 3 explanations exist. First, many online articles are structurally simple with colloquial vocabulary and syntax, lacking books' complexity. Second, online reading invites distraction through ads, notifications, and hyperlinks, preventing sustained focus. Lastly, brains inherently prefer print. Studies prove even identical text is better remembered and understood on paper than screens. The third cognitive harm, attention span. TVs, phones, and consoles deliver hyper-stimulating content.
From constantly refreshing feeds to ever-spawning game enemies, they train users to scatter attention and rapidly switch stimuli.
Long-term, this erodes sustained focus, damaging memory and comprehension.
One study shows greater than 2-hour daily users have five-fold higher attention disorder risk than 30-minute users.
Another experiment recruited young non-device users and introduced smartphones. For 3 months, pre-post mental math tests requiring high focus showed significant decline after smartphone exposure. Numerous similar studies confirm electronic devices significantly harm attention spans. This harm resembles the established link between smoking and lung cancer. In fact, many tech designers are fully aware of electronics' detrimental effect on concentration. Former Facebook president Sean Parker admitted their goal is consuming users' time and attention.
They deliberately addict users through constant notifications and updates.
Ex-Facebook VP Chama Palihapitiya believes Facebook offers no social benefit. He avoids it and bans children's use.
All right, let's summarize part 2. Electronics harm cognition in 3 ways. First, social interaction, essential for cognitive development. They impair early imitation learning during critical neural sensitive periods. Second, language skills.
Language development requires both conversational practice and reading.
Electronic devices harm both aspects significantly.
Third, attention span devices promote scattered focus and rapid task switching, eroding concentration.
Now for part 3, electronic devices' health impacts.
There are 3 primary health harms. First, sleep disruption. Sleep enables memory consolidation, growth, mood regulation, and immune function, not just rest. Adults need greater than 7 hours nightly. Sleep deprivation severely damages physical and mental health. A 16,000-team study showed post-midnight sleepers face significantly higher depression and suicidal ideation rates. Researchers attribute this to sleep loss, impairing emotional regulation. Another study found less than 6 hours nightly triples obesity risk within 6 years. Sleep deprivation stimulates cravings for greasy, high-calorie foods. It also reduces daytime energy expenditure, naturally promoting obesity. Electronics sleep harm is clear. Pre-bed usage delays sleep onset for many. Electronic devices also keep the brain stimulated, reducing sleep duration and quality. A study found over half of people using electronics, greater than 5 hours daily, sleep less than 7 hours. Among those using devices less than 1 hour daily, only 1/3 experience this. Another study on 11 to 13-year-olds found pre-bed device use increases night waking likelihood, making it hard to fall back asleep. Specifically, TV viewing triples this probability. Social media browsing increases it 2.4 times. Gaming increases it 1.7 times. The second health harm: sedentary lifestyles. Screens increase sitting time while reducing physical activity. Health experts recommend at least 60 minutes moderate daily activity for minors, rarely achieved globally. In France, only 20% of under 11s meet this. Only 1/3 of 11 to 17-year-olds meet it. Reduced physical activity significantly impacts health.
A study of 25-year-olds showed each extra daily TV hour increases death risk 11% and cardiovascular disease 18%.
An Australian research team claims TV-induced sitting shortens life expectancy there. Specifically, after age 25, each TV hour reduces life expectancy by 22 minutes. The third health harm: promoting risky behaviors. TV, internet, and games glorify dangerous actions. Under this influence, minors become more prone to risky behaviors. We'll focus on 2. First, smoking, a major health hazard. Globally, over 7 million die yearly from smoking, with millions more developing heart disease, bronchitis, etc. In most countries, cigarette ads are banned in public.
This links smoking to power, making audiences forget health risks. Action star Sylvester Stallone signed a $500,000 contract to smoke in multiple films.
This practice is widespread in the film industry. A study analyzing 2002 to 2018 North American blockbusters found nearly 60% of films contained smoking scenes, even 13% of family-friendly films. For films targeting teens 13 plus, smoking scenes rose to 38%. R-rated films had the highest rate at 70%. Beyond film, smoking imagery is common in games and social media. These platforms portray smoking as trendy and rebellious through attractive figures dangerously tempting minors. The U.S. National Cancer Institute states all evidence confirms causal links between smoking imagery and youth smoking. Overall, teens exposed to frequent smoking imagery have 1 to 2 times higher smoking initiation rates. Another study found 35% of smokers started due to adolescent exposure. The second dangerous behavior: violence, rampant in media and games. Over 60 years, extensive research confirms violent content increases aggression. This doesn't mean every viewer becomes aggressive. Individuals may show no behavioral change, but statistically, frequent exposure normalizes violence as conflict resolution and increases tolerance. Thus, they're more prone to aggression in triggering situations. In one experiment, 4 to 6-year-olds chose between two robots. The first released a ball that navigated obstacles before returning. The second activated a doll that assaulted another doll. Before choosing, the child watches an animated film. Some children watch gentle cartoons. Others watch violent cartoons. Results show 50% of violent cartoon viewers chose the second robot,
while only 29% of gentle-cartoon viewers chose the second robot.
Another study tracked teens in the US and Japan for 3 to 6 months. Researchers found violent video games increase aggression likelihood by 1 to 2 times. All right, let's summarize part 3. Electronic devices harm health in 3 ways. First, they disrupt sleep by delaying bedtime and reducing duration or quality. Third, causing sedentary behavior. More device usage means less physical activity time. Third, spreading dangerous behaviors. Typical examples are smoking and violence, common on devices. Minors exposed are more likely to become addicted to smoking and show increased aggression. Having discussed so many harms of electronic devices, next in part 4, we'll explore how to reduce electronic device harm. The author's core proposal: children under 6 should avoid all electronic devices. After 6, limit usage to 1 hour daily maximum. Because ages 0 to 6 are a sensitive neural development period and young children have poor judgment, they should prioritize social interaction and reading. After age 6, electronic devices pose much less developmental harm. Moreover, practically speaking, it's impossible to ban devices entirely. Many studies confirm less than 1 hour daily causes no harm to over 6s, but parents must monitor content, avoiding smoking, violence, etc. Many devices have teen mode to help parents filter inappropriate content. Additionally, the author offers other suggestions summarized as 3. First, parents should lead by example and reduce their own device use. If parents are addicted, children will imitate. Second, keep devices out of bedrooms to prevent pre-sleep overuse and sleep issues. Finally, parents should communicate fully with their kids to help them recognize the harms of electronic devices. When it comes to device use, the child is the primary responsible person. Parents can't watch them 24/7, and simply banning it will only make kids resentful. Only by helping kids fully understand the harms and motivating their self-management autonomy can we effectively prevent device addiction. At this point, the making of idiots has been mostly covered. In the author's view, device harms are vastly underestimated. Many experts and media outlets, due to vested interests, hype benefits while covering up downsides. In such a media climate, minors easily overuse devices, damaging academic performance, cognitive development, and health.
For kids' physical and mental health, strict control over device use is essential, not alarmist, but a reality society must address.
After this episode, do you agree with the author's criticism of electronic devices? Feel free to comment below. All right, the making of idiots. That wraps up our book interpretation. Reading notes are below the audio. See you next time.